Hollow Knight. Some of you may know it, some of you may not. But for those of you who know about Hollow Knight, will also know how the set design for the areas of this game are absolutely amazing. And in this video, we will cover the areas in the game that I think are the best looking in my opinion. Before we get into things, I want to make it very clear that this is by no means a definitive list. This is just my personal opinion. You're free to tell me I'm wrong if you want to. This is America. You're entitled to your own opinions. The first area that I will be covering in this video is Green Path. Green Path is the second area they explore in the game, being home of the first Hornet boss fight, the massive Moss Charger, and the Vengefly King. But aside from the boss fights in this area, Green Path perfectly matches the vibe of a city that has been taken over by plants and foliage over the years, giving the whole area a jungle aesthetic that works perfectly in the game. No matter how many times I go to Green Path, I'm always stunned at how beautiful it is. The beauty of this area is a standard for many other areas in the game, but this area is definitely not my favorite area of the game, but we will get to that area soon enough. The next area that I will be covering is Deep Nest in the Distant Village. I personally love this area because the environmental storytelling that shows. The village is very clearly long abandoned, being covered in spiderwebs and being in disarray. Some of the houses you can go into, you can see the dead bodies of different husk enemies wrapped up in a spider's webbing. These bodies give somewhat of an idea of what happened to the village. It seems that after the village was abandoned, the husks infested the area, but were eventually killed by some sort of spider monster that is now nowhere to be found to my knowledge. This picture that the environment paints for me is the main reason why this is one of my favorite areas in the game. If you can't tell by now, I really like environmental storytelling in games, because it can really help show a proper story without just throwing a bunch of dialogue out there. I feel like that can work better in certain games like this, because if you're just throwing out a bunch of dialogue, you're not gonna be able to see. You might not be able to see exactly what they mean by each thing that happens. But moving on, the final area I will be covering in this video is the Abyss, which is my personal favorite area in this game by far. This area is my favorite due to the theme that is portrayed here, that being isolation. This is an area isolation. This area is relatively isolated from the rest of the areas in this game. The separation is very clear in the design of this area, being distinct from any other area in the game. And this isolation can really show how detached from everything else that this area is. Not just in the physical, sense of just being super far away, but even just in the feeling of even things that inhabit the area. There's not much there. It seems to be very clearly abandoned and forgotten to time, unlike a lot of the other areas in this game. But the Abyss has very clearly been abandoned and has been for a long time. So some of this area is swarming with shades of previous lives. These shades are referred to as siblings in your character's journal. This shows that this is where the shades of other vessels have ended up after they have died. And from the abundance of these shades, I can assume that this area was the site of great massacre of vessels in the past. This area is also home to the body of the Pale King, which you can find after getting 1800 essence and upgrading the Dream Nail. This whole area helps explain the story of Hollow Knight, but just by dropping subtle hints at what's going on. This environmental storytelling is the reason why this is my favorite area in the game. This concludes my opinion on the beauty that is the set design of Hollow Knight. I hope to make more videos in this style in the future, and if you have any suggestions for things Hollow Knight related that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments below. Much love, play on, and I'll see you in the next one.